I'm Bill Warner, president of AVID Technology. A year and a half ago, I started this company with a mission and a dream. As a high-tech marketing manager, I had been using the power of video to introduce new products into the marketplace. But I found the technology to make the videos very frustrating, very time-consuming. I continuously felt there had to be a better way to make videos. And so, in 1987, I set out to build a company that would deliver that new way of editing. We've done it. It's called the AVID1 Media Composer. I'd like to show you the system right now. Let's start with a few fundamentals. I have a bin on this monitor, organized as a list. Much easier, though, to see it as images, as head frames. I'm going to edit a sequence together very quickly in Assemble Edit. Grab the first element, drag it to this window, the record window, and now I've made my first edit. And it shows up on this timeline. Second element, and the third element. In just a few seconds, I've put together the beginnings of a program. Let's take a look at it.
Let's go! Okay, I count! It was a ride.
Okay, I've built the program. Now I want to make a change. I want to put an effect in between this shot and that shot. Well, in normal video editing, you can only overwrite the material. In this nonlinear editor, you can splice in, just like in film. In fact, let's take the effect, bring it to our source window here. I'm going to come over here and find the point where I want it. I want it to be right between these two elements. So I go to that point right after he hits the ball. Right before that, set my in and do a splice in. Now I've made the program longer. Let's take a look at the result.
Let's go! Okay, I count! It was a ride.
Let's look at the system in more detail. I'm going to use the timeline and actually rearrange some of this sequence. You see, I've got some volleyball, then the explosion, then back to some volleyball. I want to take this explosion, select it, and move it to between here. Now, as I drag it, it shows me with these red lines where I can put it in. And I can drop it right in there. And now it's rearranged the sequence, and let's play it in the new way.
Let's go! Okay, I count! It was a ride.
Okay, now that we rearranged it, but it doesn't quite work. In fact, what's happening is the explosion's happening way too late. So what we want to do is we want to edit the transition. I'm going to go into a mode called the transition editing mode. Now, I can go to the transition. Now, here it is. We can see that the ball has already come up and the explosion is happening. Let's go and actually trim the transition by hitting some keys here. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to take it so he's a little bit, he hasn't gone so far. Now let's have him go the other way. Okay. Let him hit the ball. There. All right, now let's see how that looks. We'll just play just the transition. That works well. Let's take a look at the different modes that the timeline offers. We're looking at this sequence in head mode. It's looking at just the head frames. We could look at the head and tail frames so we can see the transition between each edit. And I can scroll across and see each edit. Now I can also resize the images using these icons here, make the images smaller so I can see more of them. Now there's all 4 of my edits. I can also look at the timeline as actual time code, and I can see how long each of the parts are. You can see I open with a long fairly long sequence, and then I've got a couple quick cuts. Now, as I track along in the record window there, I get a scroll bar that shows me where I am in the program. In addition, I can just click anywhere on here, and the monitor up here will follow me. Also, as I go to the transitions, you'll note that this gets to the right place exactly. Now also, I have what's called a film mode, where I can actually look at the frames. And I could resize the frames, make them smaller here. In fact, when they're small enough, I get multiple rows. I could even grow this window. In fact, let's move the window up and grow it down vertically. Now here are many of the actual film frames from the program. As you can see, the image quality, even in this small size, is quite good. But if you want them bigger, just resize them, and it will draw them bigger. Here they are at the full size. Okay, so you can see that the AVID1 provides lots of different ways to look at the structure of your edits. It makes editing very straightforward. I'm going to move this window down to reveal the other window. Let's take a more careful look at the bins. I'm going to put this bin into capture mode, and it brings up this deck controller. Now the deck controller lets me play and digitize the segment I'm looking for. Now that I got my footage, I can bring it into my source here and play it. That howl, that's what I'm looking for to end the program. All right, so let's grab the beginning of it, go to the end of it, and I'm going to go to the end of my program here, click right to the end, go to the end, and add that piece on. Now let's take a look at the finished program.
Let's go! Okay, I count. Say it was a ride.
Now that we've completed our program, the AVID1 provides a range of output options. One is it can output the edit decision list. Secondly, it can control a wide range of professional tape decks. In addition, because it has CD quality sound output, we can output the finished sound direct to the master tape. The AVID1 is really a new way to edit. We think it's going to increase the creativity and productivity of people in the industry. Thank you for joining us today.